Welcome back to another writing episode with Word Counts and Wingspans. Today's episode, my friend Andrea and I will be discussing the importance of having a support team for your writing process, and some what not to do's. There's one topic that has been recently brought to our attention about pity marketing. So we're gonna take a little step into pity marketing and what not to do there, or who not to be like.
I couldn't imagine not having somebody to ask the questions to. I mean, because I can do research, like obviously I've been Googling everything and Reddit threads and all the things, but that stuff's it's overwhelming because there's so much information out there and you don't know what's right and you don't know what's like. I was just looking, what's the best website hosting thing, you know what I mean? And then a whole bunch of people said Bluehost, but then a whole bunch of people came in and said, no, Bluehost isn't good. And then a couple of people said SiteGround. That's where I had my editing site through. So I just ended up going back through SiteGround, and they do WordPress. Like you can do the WordPress through SiteGround hosting.
Yeah.
But then other people were talking about Wix and Squarespace and how they're easier. And I was like, well, I'm kind of inept when it comes to this website thing, and WordPress is like, so it's so overwhelming.
It's not even just so many of them to choose from. WordPress is easy, but it is overwhelming. Like, it is so much to choose from. So many add-ons that you can get, and which ones do you really need? It's just overwhelming in that aspect.
Yeah, and what do I need to pay for, and what isn't worth paying for, and what is, you know what I mean? Because I got a deal. I think it was only like $35 or something for hosting for the year. I got the domain for free for a year. So like, you know what I mean? Like I got some deals and stuff in there for the whole first year, but it's like, what's worth paying for and what isn't?
I pay anything extra for mine, and it's just basic, simple, to the point. Maybe down the road, once you've got more out there, that you can start putting more into it, maybe even get somebody who can do it for you. Like, I thought about talking to Krista about that too, because she does web designs and stuff like that.
Does she?
Yeah, maybe reaching out and seeing if she'll eventually do my pages, but I want to be able to pay her for something like that, you know?
It will be interesting to see. And I don't know if you saw, I put this thing here. Like, I want to see if we can get some people to comment, like things that have worked for them, things that they've like been really frustrated about, what else they want us to talk about with the process, because it's a lot. I don't even know what to post for like my first post on social media. Well, I went on Google and looked it up, and it's like, oh, like do like a short introduction of yourself with, you know, whatever, or just start sharing memes and things, because I don't really have any book content. I don't have my cover yet. I have my synopsis, but also, how do you share the synopsis if it has all kinds of words that are going to get your posts banned?
You have to share the
Like screenshot
yeah, or put asterisks in for certain
everything.
things, or change certain words.
Can you post playlists? I don't know how that works.
Rebecca Yarros posted her playlist.
Okay. Guess you just say like, I don't know the rights to any of this music or whatever, and you just like,
If you're like posting your Spotify playlist, it lists the song and the artist who did the song. You're not like saying it's your song.
I have Apple Music, but yeah, it's the same idea.
Yeah, this is just your playlist that you listen to when you write this book. This playlist gives you your book's vibes. So if readers want to go to this playlist while they're reading the book to get, understand you or understand where you're going, then, because I've started my playlist for Wyvern King, and I even have two other ones. I just started one for Hidden Worlds because one of Josh's songs, the Phoenix song, I have. Yeah, that definitely has to go with the Hidden World series. So that's added to that playlist already. And I want to see how many of those other songs that I can steal and put on the playlist.
Yeah, I have a whole one on my Apple Music that's just for Balefire, but I didn't know if I could post it. And then I like those like aesthetic posts. I don't know how to do them. Like, I'm so not a graphic artist. I have no idea how to do that stuff.
Well, just go to Pinterest. I did that. I have a Wyvern King Pinterest started. I have a Pinterest for other novels. Now it starts to give me all these outfits of the time era that I like to write in. And so I keep finding new outfits. I'm like, oh, this would be good for this idea. So I have other lists with the names of other books or whatever else. And these are giving me ideas.
Yeah.
Just those kind of like aesthetics.
Well, I have Pinterest boards for all of my novels, because that's where I get a lot of my research from. Like, I didn't know where those came from. I didn't know if people like took a bunch of pictures from like Google and stuff and put them together, or what? How they
Mostly,
did that?
it's a lot of it is people just taking pictures from otherwhere else, putting in prompts to Google to search for this image, or even Pinterest to search for this image, saying I want a woodsy aesthetic or cottage in the woods aesthetic, or
Okay.
and that's what it generates for you.
Because I thought like I could do some of those kinds of posts as like hype up the book once I know, you know what I mean, that we're like there.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I'll be doing a cover reveal soon. I don't know if she was planning on finishing it or if she was just gonna like try to get most of it done. Because I sent her my author bio, I sent her my blurb, and I sent her my photo. That was the other thing. Like I got all these photos taken, so I didn't know like do I as my intro post, so I just like post a couple more of those photos, like with a little about me kind of deal, or is that stupid?
Think it's necessary to post about you when you don't really have any followers. That was my problem too. Like I didn't have much of a hidden world to start posting about it until I put it all out there. And it's like now I want to try and do more for Y Ranking this time around, make it more seen and more heard. And like I was like you, I was scared because I wanted to get an artist to do these aesthetic photos or pictures and stuff like that, but I can't afford one right now. I didn't think about the fact that, yeah, I can just use my Pinterest board because this is my aesthetic. Like, this is my vision, not entirely, but these pictures here inspired me to get to here. So maybe it'll help you see what I'm seeing.
I will try to put something together, maybe on Canva. I know a lot of people put like a background music or something. Um, that I don't know what to do for that. A song that reminds me of it the most is God is a Weapon. So
See,
I
you
don't
can do
know.
that kind of stuff on like TikTok too. Just get a cap cut. That's what a lot of people use for their TikToks. And it lets you put in a
Okay.
bunch of photos. I use it a lot. It gives you layouts for photos and stuff like that. And that's where you can put your pictures in that you thought were like aesthetic to the story. And then you can put whatever songs you want that are on TikTok already in the background.
Okay. That has to be one that's already on there though, right?
Yes,
Like there's like
because
certain
then you're pushing copyright issues.
right. Yeah, see these are things that like I like struggle with because I don't know what's allowed. I'm not a big social media poster. And when I post on Facebook, it's just like my own personal stuff, like, hey, we did this today or whatever, because I want to remember it like down the road.
I'm still learning with it too. Like I don't always know what to post, and that's why I follow a lot of indie authors on TikTok because I can get ideas from them. Like I watch what they post, and like, okay, I could do something similar to that. Like I don't. Then I also get to the point where like I don't want to outright steal their ideas, but
Yeah.
it's like, but at the same time, all the TikTokers are kind of doing the same thing. So I'm not really
Hmm.
stealing it if it's kind of the trend at the time.
I guess I need to do that too because I'm lost as far as how all of that works. I haven't been on TikTok in forever, but I
I mean,
suppose I
either.
should get on there and start watching some again so that I can figure out what to do because I have these social media accounts that I started and do anything with them. I just started them. And like my bio is just right now just says indie fantasy author because I have nothing else to add to that. And I'm not going to put the whole bio that's in the book on the thing because that's too long. So I'm just kind of at a loss because it's like, what do you post when you don't have anything published? Like, because I follow all of these authors on social media all the time. Cassandra Clare and Krista Broadbent, Rebecca Yarros. Like I see the stuff that they're posting, but it's like I'm not a best-selling author. I don't have all these books that I can post about and different things that I can do and stuff that I can get to engage with my followers because I don't really have any.
Yeah,
So it's like, what do I do?
that's where we start posting memes and things about books related to the same genre as we're writing in, and kind of give more background to everybody that you do know what you're writing about because you read these books on a regular basis.
That's true. I don't know. Have to like figure out what my book is like as far as other books that are out there. I don't know.
I mean, that's where you could kind of relate some of the dark romances slightly.
Like Twilight and
Paranormal
the
dark
Vampire
romance.
Diaries meets dark romance. I don't know. It's not really either of those things, but kind of at the same time because it's vampires in the real world, I guess. And then the dark romance on top of it. So I've not really read anything quite like it, but I'm sure there's stuff out there that's like it. So
Yeah, it's a matter of finding it.
yeah, and hoping I like it.
Yeah,
Hoping other people like it if I'm going to use it as a comparison.
I really believe that there is always something out there for somebody that they're going to find like that's their thing. That's what they like.
Yeah, that's true. There's always going to be somebody who likes it.
It was just like you said, you didn't realize you'd like the MM side so much, and it's now you're here for the one bed trope with Azrael and Magnus. So
I love that too, like all the little twists on the tropes. It's not the same kind of scenario every time.
yeah,
But that's one of my favorite tropes. I'm a sucker for a one bed trope every time.
yeah, I am too. And I was trying to figure out how I could, put the main characters in the one bed trope, and it didn't fit anywhere. But I'm like, it does with these two.
Yeah. I have a one bed trope in my other novel that I'm working on right now, the one set in New Orleans. I really need a title for that book because I just don't know what to call it. I have a one bed trope in that. And I have the Eyes on Me in Balefire, of course, but my own little twist on it. I'm a sucker for that one too.
Touch Her and Die. That's
Yes,
definitely
that's
my
my
favorite.
favorite. My favorite. Enemies to lovers, touch her and die.
Yep. Bad guy that is only good for her.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I can fix
all
him.
of it.
And this is where I pick the wrong guy every time.
I guess we solved the beta reader issue, but I wasn't sure where you could go to like find trustworthy ones because the idea of handing my manuscript over to a complete stranger is terrifying. Like I did up that whole Google form this time with like the agree to not disclose.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just the idea. Like
there are Facebook groups that offer beta readers, and I've seen people ask for them on TikTok and stuff. But I'm there with you too. Like, trust goes so far. I have seen people touch on that as long as you can back up that this is your story, multiple save files, like you already have notebooks full of information that somebody else can't provide, then you can sue and be like, yeah, they stole my work, clearly, because here's all the information, here's all the save files, and their consent to be a beta reader.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's why I and I kind of took that Google form from another. Well, some of the questions, some of them I reworded, but that agreement thing at the bottom, I found in another one and was like, I'm going to use this because last time I just asked. They were all people that I knew, of course, so I just asked them, "Can I just get you to agree not to share this with anybody, not to duplicate any of it, and try to put it off as your own?" Like. And then when they said, yes, I agree, or absolutely, or just screenshotted it, made sure that you could see their name at the top and that there was that person. But even that, like, I don't know how well a screenshot's going to hold up. You know what I mean? So that's why I wanted to be a little bit more. And also finding beta readers who are actually going to read it and know what they're talking about and give constructive feedback. Not just, oh, yeah, it's good. It's really good. I mean, okay, I guess one of my beta readers read it in 24 hours. So that's feedback enough.
Yeah.
If you're going to read my book in 24 hours, then obviously it was good enough that you didn't need to put it down, but just feedback that's actually usable.
Yeah, constructive criticism.
Yeah. That's why I put that part in there about, okay, like, have you read these genres? Are you familiar with these genres? You know, what kind of stuff do you look for when you read? What do you focus on? List of the tropes and the trigger warnings to make sure that there's not going to be any surprises when they're like, oh, I can't read this because you talked about XYZ, and then have them just like ghost me or whatever. So that's why I try to cover all the bases this time with that form, because how do you find the right people?
The best bet is to have everything you can to back up your work and just go from there, because maybe I'm a sucker, but I truly believe there are more good people out there than there are bad. Just because it seems like the world is bad, it just because nobody really ever talks about the good. We only ever talk about the bad.
That's true.
Fear mongering at its finest.
Yeah, I know. I try to see the good in everybody. Sometimes it backfires on me. How do you go about setting up publication date and all that kind of stuff?
With Amazon,
Yeah, or whatever publishing platform you're using.
I'm going to do Ingram this time. With all of them, as soon as you have a final draft, you can upload it to the site and then set your publication date, whatever date you want that to be. And it won't publish until that date.
Didn't you have a publication date before yours was finished?
I think I projected, and you can do that. I could go ahead right now on my Amazon, because I already have started Wyvern King to upload it. I already have the file name, and I think I actually have a projected date that's coming past. But because I didn't actually hit the button at the end, I didn't finish uploading everything, it's not completely done, then it didn't publish,
Okay.
didn't due on that date, but you can put your projected publication date in at any time.
Okay. On the note of Ingram Spark, that's probably the route I'm going to go to. But I've seen a lot of Reddit threads where they suggest doing Ingram Spark and KDP because they said KDP is better for ebooks, but Ingram is better for physical copies, and you actually get hardcovers with Ingram. Do you think that that's probably true?
Yeah, but there's a lot of issues right now with KDP and the authors with KDP. So when you do Kindle Unlimited, it's only through Amazon. You're not allowed to have a Kindle version of it anywhere else for sale. Amazon holds all rights to your Kindle, basically, to your Kindle version. And now I guess even like the pay rate, like they're paying authors less for getting their books read through
Oh.
KU.
So,
So in other words, you do all the work, Amazon makes all the money, basically.
huh?
I want to say it's like 3 cents a page. I want to say 3 cents for every page read of your book or something like that. And they take
What?
the rest. Yeah, like it's
Wow.
crazy.
That is crazy. So Ingram, they'll put your ebook on Amazon and everything. I thought I'd heard that it's like hard to get your ebook on Amazon if it's not published through KDP. But the Kindle obviously is like the most popular e-reader.
To get it, I think on KU, you have to publish it through Amazon too, like separately. But
Okay.
Ingram Spark, from what I was looking at the page, Ingram will post to everywhere.
Okay. Yeah, because that's another thing that's like overwhelming is trying to figure out how to do all of that. Then I was seeing like, oh, well, you should buy ISBNs and then you can publish, multiple places and through multiple platforms. But I heard an ISBN, like one ISBN's like what, $90 or something. But they sell them in like bundles of 10. So you're telling me $900 for ISBNs? That's insane.
And when you have to get a
But
separate
I know.
ISBN, it seemed like for each thing, like for the hardcover, for the paperback, for the
Mhm.
Kindle version. So yeah.
Ingram will give you one if you publish
Yeah,
through
their
them.
own personal one.
So I need to get in there and start playing around with all of that too. But because I'm hoping after this next round of beta readers, it'll pretty much be ready to go. I can do like maybe an ARC sign up for people who might be interested in doing ARCs. But how does that work? Like you can still have your publication date and still do the ARCs?
Yes. There is booksprout.com. Sign up for
Book
that
Sprout?
and booksprout.com.
Okay. Okay.
And then it allows you to upload your KDP and send it. And even the first page I'm looking at right now says, just starting to build your ARC team. Find readers looking for new books in the community of 85,000. So it even helps you find ARC readers. It allows you to send out to your own ARC readers.
I know you get like author copies of books or whatever. Those are just free copies that you get. Is that what that is? Or do you pay for the
No, you
how
pay.
does all of that work? Do you pay for the art copies? Do you pay for the artist copies?
Most ARC readers are just getting Kindle versions anymore.
Okay.
So it's just like your beta readers. You're just going to send out that Kindle version. So you're not putting out all this money getting the books until you can afford it. Like,
Okay.
so yeah, it would be nice to get it like I have, where it says not intended for resale across the cover. Like through Amazon, it was only $5 for those, like $5 a piece, honestly. So it's really not that expensive if you wanted to send all of your ARC readers physical copies.
Yeah.
And that's always something you can do too. But most are happy with just having the Kindle.
But I just was wondering about that because I always hear people talking on like Reddit threads and stuff about, oh, how many author copies do you get? How many author copies does that come with? And so I didn't know if that was something that was like included in your author like bundle or if you had to pay for those author copies too.
Because I only went through Amazon with Hidden World. I didn't do Ingram Spark, and that's why I'm gonna do different this time. With
Yeah.
Amazon, it's you ordered however many you wanted each time.
Okay.
So
All
of
right.
course,
Well, I might have to like look into that more then. Yeah, I'll have to look into that and see exactly what it was that I saw, so that I can figure out what I'm talking about because it's been a while since I've looked at the website.
well, I know Ingram Spark definitely does offer a lot of good services. Is a lot more helpful to indie authors than I think going through Amazon is. Ingram
Yeah.
offers a lot more when I was looking through it. Like it gives you links to marketing sites, like legit marketing sites that you can trust. Artists to do book covers, to do sprayed edges, to do like character artwork. Yeah. So I was like, man, that they really give you stuff to help you succeed Amazon doesn't as
Oh,
much, I don't
wow.
think.
Okay. I did go in there and download a whole bunch of like PDF guides and stuff from Ingram that I thought sounded interesting. I think one was on marketing and one was on like social media. I saw they had a whole bunch of different help guides and stuff like that. I honestly haven't looked at KDP at all yet because you had said that you thought Ingram Spark was better and that's what you were going to try. So that's where I started. And then started seeing all this stuff about you should do both. But I didn't know if Amazon or KDP offered any of that kind of stuff as well. Like I didn't know if that was only like site specific to Ingram or if there were other platforms that were doing that. And I don't even know what other platforms there are. There was like this Barnes and Noble direct publishing or something, I guess you can also do, but I haven't heard a lot about that. So I don't know if that's new.
I did the Barnes and Nobles or started doing the Barnes and Nobles. I don't think I ever really finished it or did and just didn't get as much as Amazon did. It's not many people go to Barnes and Noble's website and look for books and indie authors. I think Amazon has more of that, and it's the Ingram Spark really helps you get into the bookstores just anywhere then. And you want to be through Ingram Spark to be put in bookstores.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people recommended that because they can help you get into bookstores. Now I heard it's not easy, and there are some people that still don't as easily with Ingram, but it's easier than Amazon, obviously.
I know a lot of authors still have to go to the bookstores themselves and push to get their books in there. But a lot of I've heard a lot of Barnes and Nobles are really supportive of local authors.
Well, I love that. I don't have a Barnes and Noble, of course.
Of course. Because actually, it's funny, at the Renaissance Fair, I was sitting next to this very pregnant young lady while we were waiting for our friend to do some blacksmithing stuff. She was making a metal wand. Yeah, I'm going to do a sword next year. No, I'm going to do a dagger next year.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
So cool.
I'm really excited. Her husband was with the blacksmith, so she was sitting there talking, and I think we mentioned about reading. I always have my business cards with me at the Renaissance Fair because hello, fantasy, biggest place to give them away. But she said that of course, that's what she read. So I told her I was an author, handed her my business card, and then she started saying that she works in Barnes and Nobles, and they are very supportive of local artists. If you go in and tell them that they'll have book signings and all that other stuff for you. And
what is the purpose of business cards as an author?
Get people interested in you. Book out there. Like you're handing out, it's like a flyer. Here's my little card. I'm an author. And on the back, I have it so you can scan the QR code and it takes you to my link tree. So you can constantly update. So I can have all my socials on there so they can follow my socials. I have my link to my Amazon so they can go and purchase the book, a link to my webpage. And then I'll start putting the YouTube up on there.
Where did you go to make those?
Print Vista.
Oh, I think that's where I got mine from when I was doing my freelance editing.
I think I get like a box of 100 or something like that. And it was really not that much. I forget how much it is.
I just wondered.
It's maybe at most 50, but yeah, they're really not that expensive.
Yeah, Ryan, whenever he was doing his carpet business, I think we ordered them on there and they were like really cheap. I remembered you putting the cards in your books when you were at the book signing, but I was looking at it and I was like, well, isn't that basically what social media is for? To get all that attention and stuff, and I didn't know. And so I just didn't know.
If they've
what
never heard
purposes
of me
there-
before, how are they going to know my socials?
Yeah, you're right. So I love the idea of that QR code. So I'm gonna have to try to do that.
Yeah, and I can help you with that because it's through another thing that I use, that Bitly, which is all good stuff to have because Bitly makes long web links. It just shortens them for you, and it's a really nice little thing to use.
Okay. Yeah, you're gonna have to help me with all of that stuff because I don't know anything about it. I'm very basic when it comes to that kind of stuff.
And give you a lesson next time you're down for your visit in May. I'll give you a lesson on some of these things too.
Yeah, definitely. Because I feel like I need all the things. And
All the things.
I know I loved Canva when I was trying to do my editing stuff. Canva was really good for like social media posts and stuff like that. And I had a social media scheduler and I can't remember which one I used.
Well, even now, like you can just schedule with like Facebook, lets you schedule on the app.
Oh, does it?
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to look into that then because I know they say you should post regularly and who has time to just sit on social media all the time. So they'll like schedule like a week's worth of posts and then they'll just roll them out as they're supposed to. Whatever program I was using, it was pretty good, but I know there was issues like Instagram would post before Facebook or vice versa, or one would post, but the other one wouldn't post till, like the next day, even though they were both supposed to post at the same time. It was like a little weird, but I can't even remember which one I was using.
There's so many of them anymore.
So many tools. And I was using Trello for a little while there. I think what's that, like a to-do list and different things like that. I got sucked into all the tools and it was overwhelming because there were too many of them. So I need to figure out which ones are ones I actually need and which ones I don't. That's what I'm saying. Like what's worth having and what isn't, as far as like organizing.
Still trying to figure it out because I still need to use all of those in the MailChimp to start a newsletter. And
Yes, I need to do that.
where do you find time to
'Cause they
do it all?
said-
And then now I was taking on this side project and I have to edit for our videos and all the research that goes into.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, because I saw you should have like email lists as a good way for indie authors to like increase engagement. But what do you put in your newsletters? Like, what do you write about if you don't have anything
Yeah.
going on? So I need to do research on all these things, I guess, because I see the newsletters that I get from authors, but there again, it's like Carissa Broadbent and Rebecca Yarros and Cassandra Clare and, you know, all these
All who have
authors that are
people
already
do it
established
for
and have
them.
multiple books and are doing signing events and all these different things. And what do you do if you don't have those things going on? And how do you organize signing events? Because you did one, you had to call the library, right?
Yeah, actually, they had a form I could fill out online to use that room. And then
Okay.
the other one that I did at the winery, that was Sarah's in-laws.
Oh, okay. Ooh,
And
so if I know
she's
somebody
like,
who owns like a venue.
mm-hmm.
Okay.
And go down to Mondragon Books in Lewisburg.
Okay.
I talked to her before. Sarah's her name. She graduated with Paul. I talked to her before and I told her I was an author and she had said about having a book reading. Come down and read some of your
Oh,
work.
wow.
Yeah, so reach out to her. Talk to
Okay.
her. She's not a big name bookstore. She sells like used books and stuff like that. And it's a
Okay.
very cute little shop
So
that
like
she's in now.
I'll have to remember that. I feel like I should be taking notes because of
But
all
see,
the
that's the good
things
thing
that you
about
just
this.
told me.
You
Yeah.
don't have to take notes. Now you can go back and watch
Oh
the
yeah, because I
video.
can go back and watch it. Yeah,
This is taking notes. We're just sharing
that's
with the
true.
class.
That's true.
We're helping others not be alone in this struggle of being an indie author and
Yes.
trying not to make the same mistakes as Audrey Winter and this new one, Paul Castle.
Yeah. Perfect examples of what not to do. Indie authors need
Yeah.
other indie authors for support as well. I'm just putting that out there
Yes.
because having Val, who has been through this process before and has done a little bit of this, has been a big deal for me and has made the process easier for me because having somebody who's like, stop it, you're overthinking, knock it off. When I go down a rabbit hole and start asking questions that I shouldn't even be stressing about. So it's good to have somebody who, well, first of all, to have a friend who's honest like that. I mean, everybody needs one of those, but also to have another indie
Yes.
author in your corner who can help answer your questions and help support you. And then you kind of have each other to lean on as you're dealing with these stressors because it is a very stressful process. I imagine it's also rewarding once your work is finally out there, but it is very stressful making that happen. Like these were things that I didn't even think about. I was just like, oh, I wrote this book and I'm going to be a published author because I'm self-publishing. I had no idea all of the little like minute details that go into this process. Even after seeing what you went through with it, because, you know, having edited your book and all that kind of stuff, I kind of was along for the ride with you, but I didn't see all the little things that were happening behind the scenes that you weren't really talking about because I wasn't there yet.
Nice to have somebody to share with.
Yeah.
And that's where, like, since I didn't really have anybody at the time, going to TikTok and finding all the indie authors on TikTok, it really helped me a lot because, like, I could see a lot of their journey and what they were going through and how they did things. And I still did things wrong. I'm still doing things wrong. I'm still learning. But it's nice that I can learn with somebody now. And now hopefully we can grow a community that'll help us and we can help each other learn and come up with ways to maneuver things. Not all of us have the extra money to do the things we would like. I would love to hire artists, maybe a few extra editors. You're do amazing, but you have projects of your own, and you can't do all of my editing because you're gonna miss things because we're gonna get too focused on it. We both miss things. because we just get too focused
Mm-hmm.
on it, and it gets hard to see some of those things. And that's where, again, having these extra beta readers and ARC readers is very, very helpful, because they
Mm-hmm.
can even pick up these little small things. Like, I don't know if you noticed, but you didn't change, or this word shouldn't be here, or something like that. And like, oh, we both missed that.
Mm-hmm.
It happens. We're human.
Yeah.
Even some of the best editors make mistakes. Wasn't there a mistake in Onyx Storm?
Yeah.
I think everybody caught, yeah, like a huge mistake that everybody seemed to have caught. Like, we're human. Everybody's human. Things are gonna slip past us. Again, the first video we posted, and I'll say it again.
Mm-hmm.
I messed up. I screw up affecting
Yeah.
and affecting all the time.
Yeah, I missed
And I
that
know there are
too.
other things that you as my editor, I'm sure you pick up on other things that I mess up all the time. Every single time I get those things
Mm-hmm.
wrong.
Yeah.
English is hard.
It's getting better though. Listen, we all have those things, but I will say also, in that one editing course that I took, they did say there's a certain percentage of errors that are considered acceptable. It's a very small percentage. I want to say it's like 2 or 3% or something like that. But there is an acceptable amount of errors in every book. So that just goes to show that no manuscript is going to be 100% perfect. There's going to be at least 1 or 2 errors in every book. And so as long as on that front, expect it, because it's going to happen. And like you said, even the biggest names in the industry are going to miss things because it happens.
Because we're human. Yep.
It's hard. When
We
I
have
when I
flaws.
edit, I have to read something multiple times, and every time I read it, I pick up something different than I picked up the first time I read it, because your brain focuses on different things at different times, and just depends on what kind of mindset you catch me in, what I'm going to notice before I notice other things. So that's why usually when I edit, I read multiple times before I'm comfortable saying, okay, I feel like I edited this the best I can. Here's my suggestions. That's on you. There's a lot of layers to books and things as well. So it's hard to get everything.
Yeah. What not to do when being an indie author, and that would be following the steps of our first video, Miss Audra. You don't want to hype up a book that definitely does not meet its standards, and then you also don't want to be like the next author and push the pity marketing under very false pretenses. So Paul Castle has these adorable children's books that he wrote, and him and his partner have made some very, very cute content over the years that I just loved watching. But recently, he has been pushing the narrative that bookstores are refusing his book because of it being about two male penguins falling in love. And that's not the
And
case.
adopting a child, right?
Yes.
They adopted
Well,
a
I
baby,
think the
right?
first book,
Yeah.
Pengrooms, was about them falling in love and getting married. And then the second book was about
Okay.
them adopting a baby. And now he's bringing out another book, which is about Mr. Maple, his guide dog.
Okay.
So that's the other thing. He's partially blind. He can only see pinpricks in front of him. Everything else is all
Oh,
black.
okay. I thought he
So
was
he's not
fully
fully
blind.
blind. He's partially blind. No, he can see like a very, very, very small percent in front of him, which has allowed him to be able to
Gotcha.
draw his books and everything. And which also makes the content so cute, because there was one time where his partner Matthew made him these huge playing cards so they could play a game together, because if not, he had to have it really close,
Oh.
these because they were too tiny, but the big cards he could read. And then just the way he says Matthew felt like, oh, I just loved it every time with Matthew. Like, it was so adorable. And now it's just, I can't
Oh.
even watch them now because of this pity marketing. When it first popped up, it said, my children's book, like, banned in big letters in a bookstore. And I watched the video because I'm like, what? I just can't believe that's like, I'm sure it is, but I was like, I just couldn't believe that it was still happening like that, that bookstores. And he's saying
Mm-hmm.
like this big name, like it's a big, big name bookstore banning my book. And then it's like, he goes on, I watched the video, and not once did they say I'm banning it because X, Y, and Z. Because of somebody misunderstood something. It was like all a misunderstanding, and that they couldn't take that many books, which is understandable, because from what I was seeing in the video that I sent you, that I'll link below, is that was a book lover Laura did. Yeah. That
Yeah.
bookstores don't take 50 copies of any book. because they don't have enough room and it doesn't sell that much. Like it's not that they're banning it or anything like that. It was just that they don't take that many books.
Yeah, I think because what he said, they ordered like 100 copies or something, right? I think there was supposed to be some kind of an event or something. He was supposed to be doing some kind of signing, but it was still, even for that kind of an event, it was still like an astronomical amount of books.
Yes.
So, and then there was something with Ingram Spark too, right? Like he was considered some kind of an account and not this other kind of account.
He was pushing for a
But
publisher account.
okay,
For a
and it
publisher
was
account, you need to have 10 books under your name.
okay. Well, yes, so that's why he's now doing this, asking authors to submit their manuscripts to their publishing company so that they can publish these books under their name, so that they can be able to put the more books out, I guess, right? I only watched the Book
Yes.
Lover Laura episode, so I'm not as up to speed on this as you are.
Well, the other video that I watched is pretty much the same thing. It was actually this one, she made it before Book Lover Laura, like a month or two ago. So it's kind of interesting to see that it's really hasn't changed much. It's just that, yeah, he pretty
Oh, it's
much
been
had
going
all of
on
his
that
fans go
long.
attack this Heather.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't realize. But looking back, I'm like, I did watch that video a couple months ago, and then I just kind of stopped watching all of their videos altogether
Wow.
after that one that I saw, and it kind of gave me weird feelings.
Yeah, I never even heard about it until last week when you texted me about it and said, "Hey, watch this." I didn't know anything about it. I'm out of the
Yeah.
loop sometimes, though.
Yeah, I didn't
The
really
Audra thing, I only
think
found
much of it, and then because you're on TikTok. But no, I was just kind of surprised because, like I said, I've watched their content and I really liked those guys, and then I saw it come up on my feed that Book Lover Laura had a new video, and I saw the penguins on the front, and then I thought I saw Paul. I'm like, wait a minute, is she talking about Paul and Matthew? So of course I had to watch, and I'm like, oh, okay, I get it, yeah. And then seeing how it really unfolded, I'm like, oh, yeah, now I can't even watch their other videos. They just feel like Mean Girls. I don't like Mean Girls.
I love the movie.
Yeah.
That makes me sad though, because I really want to read the books because they sound like they're so cute. But now I just don't know if
Yes.
I can because I don't like the tactics. It just feels so dishonest and goes back to the whole how do you know who to trust kind of thing. How do you know it's real? How do you know it's safe? You know what I mean? Especially as an indie author, how do you know it's safe to submit your manuscript for your children's book to this whole thing, and that it's not somehow going to be
Especially knowing that they've
used?
lied.
Yeah, just like it just makes the whole thing seem shady. And if that's not their intention, then that's sad for them because now that's just their reputation, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It really sucks. I'm really sad about it.
Can you really submit a book to them if you knowing they've lied up to this point?
Yeah. But see, that's the thing too. Is their fans don't see them as lying. Like they're a lot of them are buying into it, and they're also running off and jumping down somebody else's throat for something they didn't do, like that poor worker at Ingram Spark. Like,
Yeah. And at first, at first when I was watching the video, because, I try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt of, is it because he felt slighted and so he couldn't come up with any explanation for why? So that was just where his brain went. So at first I was like, maybe it was just all like a big misunderstanding and it was just the way that he perceived the situation, but that wasn't actually the way that things happened. But then once all these people started coming forward and were like, no, this is not the case. And like point blank, like explained it to him and even came out publicly and said, this is not what happened. And they were still spinning that narrative. Then it was like, wait a minute. You've had people who have come forward publicly and there's proof that these people have come forward publicly or that these people have like refuted what you said and you're still going with the story. And then there was, I think someone said they delete any negative
yes, I was going to say
comments.
that they're notorious comment deleters.
So if that's the case, then they kind of lose the benefit of the doubt at that point.
That's what I figure. If you can't keep the comments, like if you have to go and delete comments because they call you out for lying or whatever, then, kind of lose your credibility.
Yeah, definitely.
Makes me afraid for for the 2,000, maybe even more by now, who have submitted manuscripts to them, and I hope that they don't steal their ideas or anything like that.
Yeah, or you use it in some way that's not going to be beneficial to the author. That I didn't realize they had that many submissions. That's crazy.
Yeah, they did do a TikTok where it said like 2,000, like almost 2,500 submissions.
Wow. A
Yeah.
lot.
And then even if they do put it in your name, where's the contract to say you're going to get paid for it?
Well, yeah, that's the other thing. If they're taking these submissions, well, I guess there'd have to be, if they choose it, then the contract would be drawn up. I guess is how that would work. But also, though, they haven't been able to successfully get their own book distributed.
Yeah.
So why would you think? I mean, I guess the idea is that they're going to get all these people to submit these manuscripts, and then they're going to be able to put them out
Yeah.
because they're going to be able to open it, be like a publisher.
Because then they'll have 10.
And yeah, but what if it doesn't go that way? Well, especially now because the people that they're working with, they're like burning those bridges.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's scary from an author's standpoint. I don't feel like I could. I really hope it works out for them because I just don't feel like I could trust something like that. And that's no shade to anybody that's put manuscripts in. I don't mean it like that. I'm just saying that scares me for
I'm
them.
sure
And
there are a lot too that are now starting to second guess themselves and wish they hadn't. Do they have the lawyers to make sure everything's legitimate? Artists, editors, and all that to make it good? When you're saying you're a publisher, you gotta back it with all that type of stuff.
yeah, for sure. That's iffy.
Yeah, a little scary.
Yeah, I hope it works out for everybody involved. And it ends up being like more positive experience, and maybe they end up doing the right thing and they can redeem themselves and turn it all around. Let's hope.
Yeah, let's hope. With this pity marketing and like, I get it. No marketing is bad marketing because it's all marketing.
I guess, yeah.
But like, how are you comfortable with painting yourself in such a bad light then? I guess he probably doesn't see it that way. Most don't
Yeah.
when they do that. You know, when they play the victims, they're never really the bad guy.
Yeah. Yeah. And where do you draw the line on that? You know, where does it cross the line into too far?
See, that's another thing that scares me. Like marketing. I have such a hard time figuring out how to market. And then it's like, I've seen all these others fail so miserably. And it's I can see why. The pity marketing, the hyping up a book that is not even close to what it's supposed to be, and then fleeing the country or saying you're going to flee the country or it's like,
Whatever's going on there.
yeah. I mean, I don't ever plan on doing any of that stuff. And I've seen an author. She was pretty funny in campaigns recently, well, for marketing her book, which you've probably seen it on your own Facebook feeds, is this bright pink book with metallic inlays. Maybe you're not getting the same type of algorithm as me. But
Yeah, I thought
it's
our
this-
algorithm was like,
yeah, I thought it was already synced up like, everything
Yeah.
else. It's this bright pink cover, and somebody who had purchased her book, her husband wrote a letter, like a cease and desist, because her husband, the reader's husband, is a lawyer. And the whole thing was because the book cover was too bright. It was not aesthetically pleasing to his wife's eyes. So they're demanding like punitive damages or whatever, some crap. Like, what? Yeah, it was some crazy stuff, but she has been like living into it. She thinks it's the funniest thing. Somebody sent her a picture of it framed this letter and put it in this big picture frame so she could put it up. She made like a TikTok making fun of it with everybody that works in her warehouse packing up these books, because they've even got the silver edges and everything.
Oh, wow.
And she's like going and asking all of her employees, is it too bright? She goes, is this book too bright? And they all put their sunglasses down and goes, no, it's perfectly fine. So like, I mean, that kind of stuff is like funny, but it's like, she's also
Again,
seems to be one of those Kickstarter authors. And then now that
Okay.
scares me because of all the videos I've seen from Book Lover Laura seem to be, again, Paul with his Kickstarter. And how many people on there have been complaining they haven't gotten their book?
Yeah.
Like, I've liked the idea of Kickstarter, but now it's like, nah, I will never touch that because so many bad things. Like, I don't ever want to be like that, but it just seems to have such a bad rep now because of all these authors who mess it up royally.
But Cassandra Clare uses Kickstarter. She's got several books that you can only get through her Kickstarter. And I mean, she's obviously she's got the means to be able to do the things, I guess. But she's successful with it. So I guess it's not all bad, but
But you also have to be able to trust the person doing the Kickstarter. Now, Sandra
yeah.
Clare, she's a big name. She's never
Mhm.
let anybody down with their Kickstarters.
Yeah.
Like, they've all gotten their product. But when it comes, again, indie author,
Yeah.
you have all of these indie authors giving other indie authors a bad name. Audra, Paul, so many others from Book Lover Laura's. We need to start watching those more too, because
Yeah, I
it's
guess.
crazy how many of these women have promised these books and Kickstarters and never gone through with it, and they've gotten hundreds of thousands of dollars off of people, and then just start a new Kickstarter. Just same with the book box companies. A lot of them are like making all this money, and so many people are not getting any books, and they're paying for months and months and not getting any of the book boxes.
Wow.
It's just crazy.
I didn't. Oh yeah, you're talking like what is it, Fairy Loot and Acrylics and different ones like that. I did just get one that I pre-ordered like months in advance from LitJoy Crate, but I don't know. I didn't realize that those other ones were having those issues, or we might have talked about it before and I forgot. But
When I think it's not even just like some people are getting every single box, and then some people aren't getting any of them. Some people are getting a couple here and there. I don't get it. Where's the inconsistency? How is it so some are getting and not others?
well, that's a good question. That sounds like it might be like a shipping error, even something's not being entered correctly, or I don't know. That's
But it's
weird.
like, the funny thing is with a lot of these people, they get like the recipient gets your item has been shipped, which means that a shipping label has been created, but then the item never actually goes to the post office.
Well,
So
that's really strange.
yeah. So where's it messing up there?
I don't know. Yeah, that's really strange because it should be trackable at that point. And why would you enter it into the system knowing that they're not going to be able to track it?
So once you create the label, that's when the recipient gets the tracking number.
Mm-hmm.
It's not until it goes to the post office and is dropped off into a postal carrier's hands is it sent into the system and it starts getting tracked. So like at their warehouse, they're printing off the labels.
But never actually shipping them. Huh. How do you get away with that? And what is the excuse when people start calling asking for their stuff?
They always get runarounds from the sounds of it. Unanswered emails. They'll get the same thing. Here's your tracking number.
I dealt with that graduation banner
sign.
that I ordered in May. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It was a whole fiasco, and trying to get anybody to talk to me was ridiculous. So I guess I understand that. And that was trackable. It was already in the mail and it still was a fiasco.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess that happens, but it's just that's crazy to me that that's happening with these, and they're like not little business, like little things, like they're really popular things, Fairy Loot and Acrylics and all that stuff.
It just sounds
Wow.
like people that don't know how to run businesses, really.
Yeah. What?
But
Yeah,
that see as
whatever.
an easy income. Because then really, how
Yeah.
hard is it to find an author who is willing to cut a deal to use their book and then find a few bookish things to throw inside a box and send out every quarter or whatever?
Yeah, and they're doing really popular books, so it's not like they don't have the interest in people willing to pay the money. Their Throne of Glass Acrylics Throne of Glass set was absolutely gorgeous. If it wasn't what $300 or $400, I would have bought it myself. But I just couldn't justify spending that kind of money. But it was absolutely gorgeous, and I know there were people who were there. There was a wait list for that, I think. So was the demand higher than what they expected, and so they just didn't have the product?
Usually
Like,
they set a cap. Usually, most of them are like, we're only producing X amount of books. Once we sell those books, that's it. No more. Sold out. So
well, yeah, because that's what happened with my set that I just got from LitJoy Crate. I pre-ordered it, and then after a few months, when I was like checking on it and stuff, it already was sold out, and this was months before it even shipped. So they must have capped it at like, okay, we're only going to take so many pre-orders, and then that's it. And I mean, it took a long time for them to get that and then send it out. And I think they don't produce it until the pre-order
until they get the money
session
from all
is
the pre-orders.
over. And yeah. And so I get that they have to wait and everything. So if that's the case and they set all these pre-orders thinking, okay, we're going to set the cap at like, this many books or whatever, and we're never going to hit that, but we're just going to put this cap, and then they hit that cap. Is that the problem? Like they were not prepared to actually have to produce that many books?
Imagine that. No, I can't imagine that's it.
Like, what would
They'd have to
cause
make
that kind of an issue?
they'd have to have a contract with the artist because a lot of them are making sprayed edges and special editions. So you have to
That's
have a
yeah.
contract with the artists and the production company or whatever to produce that many books.
Well, that's what I would think, but I know I thought I had read or seen a video or something. Now, this was a while ago. This was before this, that people were getting emails and stuff that, oh, unfortunately, we're not able to fill your order after they paid all this money for these sets that they wanted to have so bad. And they weren't waitlisted. They were like, they had gotten the books and all that kind of stuff. And then they had said, they come back later with letters and things that said, sorry, we couldn't fill your order. And it sounded like it was because demand was so high they couldn't produce them fast enough or something like that. And so that's what I was wondering, like, how does that happen? I guess, but guess we'll never know.
Neither one of us really works in any of that to really
Yeah.
know the honest to goodness
Yeah.
truth of how it really works and where all the mess up is, but it's just crazy.
Yeah, it blows my mind that that's even an issue.
And that and crazy indie authors giving other indie authors an even harder time to do things. Like,
Yeah.
could we not?
Yeah. Like, we're supposed to be helping each other out, not making it harder.
It's usually the ones that are kind of narcissistic that aren't helping the others. The ones that just want themselves to succeed.
Yeah. Yeah, I already don't expect to make money. If I do, that's great, but I just want to it's always been a dream to publish a book, So like if I can just even just do that and know that I have published work out there, that'll be enough. I say that now, but I mean, don't get me wrong. It would be nice to make a living as a writer and make money as a writer, but that's not the expectation at all.
No, it would be nice to be able to afford to cut my hours back to try and get a school nurse position.
That would be cool. That would be
So
cool.
I could really fit into the 10 things I hate about you vibe instead of the guidance counselor and school nurse sitting there trying to think of a throbbing member.
Oh my God, I love it.
I can't write a spicy scene without picturing that in my head every single time.
I can't either. And some of the books when I read them, when they start to get really creative with the anatomy like descriptions, I'm like, that's all I picture is Alice and Janney sitting at her desk trying to, and whenever what Kat walks in the office says something and then she leaves and she's like, oh yes, that. And she like types it up, it just, oh my gosh, cracks me up every time.
Cape at the sight of Reginald's stiff and Judith! What's another word for engorged?
I'll look it up.
Okay. Swollen. Turgid.
Tumescent?
Perfect.
Yeah, so that would be nice. So I can live out my 10 things I hate about you fantasies. Only as a school nurse.
Yeah.
And I have my summers off and holidays off.
Summer, I miss that so much from working at a school. So that's like one of the main things that I miss. I like my job now, but I miss having summers off because that was glorious.
Yeah, I'd like to go back to that because I had that when I was working at the school. I had my summers off too when I was an aide.
Mm-hmm.
Would be nice to become a school nurse then and just have summers and holidays off and done about 3:00 every day.
Mm-hmm.
Probably
Yeah,
even
it's a good
sooner
schedule.
because school nurses got out of there like super early. They don't need to stay all day.
I feel like where I was at, they stayed all day, but I could be wrong. They also traveled between buildings and things, so I don't know.
So before we go tonight, we did want to touch on in upcoming episodes. At the end, we would like to start introducing indie authors. Because like we said, we don't want to be those narcissistic authors that are just worried about ourselves and promoting our stuff. We want to help the community. We want to help each other. And by doing so, we want to start introducing authors. So we're going to have an application at the bottom of this episode where you can go fill it out, let us know about your book, all of that stuff. And at the end of the episodes involving writing and everything like that, we'll introduce an indie author. And then we're thinking about bringing in some indie authors to do some of our writing episodes with us, to talk about their journey, to talk about their upcoming books and stuff like that. So that's also in the application if you're interested in becoming a guest, and we can reach out to you and talk to you about that. When we could possibly, set up a recording time that works for all three of us or four, however it works. please let us know by filling out the form in the description if you want to be featured or be on the episodes or anything like that.
Yeah, we'd also like to hear from you about some of the things that we talked about in today's episode to continue this idea of indie authors helping other indie authors. If there are some things that are really stressing you out about the indie publishing process right now, if there are things that have really worked for you that you think other people could benefit from, any advice you have for other indie authors, or any parts of the process that you'd like to see us talk more about in future episodes, we'd love to hear about all of that.
Yes. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. Definitely like if you enjoyed the episode. Subscribe so you can catch more episodes. Listen to us ramble on and on for hours.